Warning: sensitive images.
Like the act of murdering? No? Then choose vegan.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visite suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Rancangan kami menawarkan banyak bahasa. Sila kunjungi suprememastertv.com/kehadapan schedule.
Supreme Master Ching Hai joyfully present the Shining World Compassion Award to Lauren Ornelas plus $10,000 for the Food Empowerment Project as a humble token of support for your noble work empowering the underprivileged with all love, respect, and gratitude. May you enjoy ever more success, and may heaven bless you abundantly always.
One of the things we learned was that one of the biggest barriers for people being able to access healthy foods was actually that they didn't have enough money. So we started advocating for living wages.
Continue watching to find out more.
Compassionate viewers, ¿Cómo va su día? Is how is your day in Spanish? I am Giovanni. The jovial people of the Republic of El Salvador salute you for your loving kindness towards all beings. May your lives be filled with divine blessings. Welcome to part 2 of our show, entitled Food Empowerment Project, The Power of Food Choices with Lauren Ornelas, vegan. Today, we will continue with our tribute to social activist Ms. Lauren Ornelas, whose non-profit organization, Food Empowerment Project, or FEP, in California, USA, advocates compassionate food choices as the foremost answer to the prevalent problem of systematic oppression in the world. Lauren is perhaps best known for her corporate campaigns in the early 2000s that led to a kinder and gentler Whole Foods market. Her protest prompted Whole Foods Market to discontinue duck meat, as well as its pilot program to carry rabbit meat. In the process, Lauren also inspired Whole Foods co-founder and CEO John Mackey to adopt a vegan diet. Around the same time, Lauren also convinced the nationwide retailer Trader Joe's to take duck meat off its shelves. She is also the reason Pier 1 Imports stopped selling feta products. Lauren has been asked why she focused on ducks, geese, and rabbits rather than other more commonly exploited animals. She explains that this was at a time when the vegan movement was not as mainstream as it is today, and she wanted to start with the smaller but more achievable targets, believing that small victories would lead to larger ones. In the case of Whole Foods Market, her small victories cracked open the door for further changes at the supermarket chain.
And then we were able to push through a lot of vegan things at Whole Foods, things such as simply as marking which of their products were vegan, so it'd be easier for us to buy them, to really taking a closer look at things like lobsters and other products that they were selling.
When Lauren founded FEP in 2007, to expand her advocacy to include the human animal, she envisioned veganism to be at the core of all its activities. Through the years, FEP has promoted veganism through a myriad of channels, including holding monthly protests in front of a chicken slaughterhouse, publishing powerful exposés on livestock and fish industries on its website, sending monthly newsletters to subscribers to help them turn and stay vegan, printing leaflets and free recipe booklets for vegan outreach, advertising on Spanish-speaking newspapers about veganism, and holding veg fests that offer free vegan meals in low-income communities. In addition, FEP has created three sister websites featuring enticing ethnic cuisines, namely veganmexicanfood.com, veganfilipinofood.com, and veganlaofood.com. Lauren tells us how FEP's first sister site came about.
So our main areas is promoting veganism for the animals. So as a very proud Chicanx Mexican, we created Vegan Mexican Food, which is full of vegan Mexican recipes. And I wanted to create this site to celebrate and share with my family and with friends how delicious vegan food can be. And we can still have a part of our culture there. And that a lot of our foods didn't really have a lot of animal products, at least my indigenous ancestors. And so created Vegan Mexican Food, which is in English and in Spanish for that reason.
Kind-hearted viewers, we will spend a few moments to remember to be grateful for all the blessings we receive daily. We will be right back. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television. Animal food, even if a single particle is eaten, is detrimental to spiritual progress. Baba Savansinji, vegetarian, Spiritual Gems, Radhaswami Saksam Beas. Welcome back, sensitive viewers. Let us continue with our program about the extraordinary Lauren Ornelas and her wonderful organization, FEP. In 2018, Lauren became the first woman of color to be inducted into the Animal Rights Hall of Fame at the Animal Rights National Conference in the USA. Lauren is also well recognized for her farm worker rights advocacy in the USA. Farm work on today's industrialized farm is considered one of the most hazardous occupations. The workers typically have to work long hours in exhausting heat and are regularly exposed to agricultural chemicals. They often have to work in polluted air created by wildfires or handle unsafe farm equipment, lack access to healthy food and health care, and are even sometimes subjected to wage theft by employers and slavery. Lauren discusses the issue of food deserts facing the estimated 3 million farm workers, as well as many others living in low-income areas in the United States.
They don't have access to fresh fruits and fresh vegetables, much less milk and dairy alternatives. So I wanted to try to get access to more of those fruits and vegetables and meat and dairy alternatives so we can help them go vegan, because it's going to be better for them and the environment.
In order to provide policymakers with qualitative data about the lack of access to healthy food, FEP conducts major community surveys in the neighborhoods that request them. 2 surveys were recently carried out in Santa Clara County and Vallejo, California in 2014 and 2018, respectively. FEP also follows its surveys up with focal groups, which are live discussions with members of the local communities. The resulting reports indicate that the farm workers are eager to eat plant-based but are hampered by external constraints.
The communities we work in are predominantly Black and Brown communities. And what we have found that they are overwhelmingly interested in veganism. They are definitely wanting to eat healthier. They just simply don't have access to it. And a lot of the communities that we've worked in, people are buying their produce is actually at gas stations. And what they have available may be a handful of potatoes, onions, and apples, and that is it.
The data collected by FEP was presented to the policymakers, who used the data to help determine which local stores are going to get healthy makeovers. One major reason fresh produce and meat and dairy alternatives are less accessible to the working poor is the relatively high prices of these items. Lauren says that this is largely due to the lopsided distribution of government subsidies, which currently favors foods that are less healthy. The US government directs more than $37 billion of taxpayers' money a year towards meat, dairy, corn, soybeans, wheat, and rice. whereas only 0.4% of the total subsidy goes to fruits and vegetables, despite clear evidence and public consensus that fruits and vegetables are the most health-enhancing foods. Accordingly, FEP campaigns for living wages, defined as an income that meets a person's basic needs.
One of the things we learned was that one of the biggest barriers for people being able to access healthy foods was actually that they didn't have enough money. So we started advocating for living wages.
The living wage in California for two parents with two children is $27.08 an hour per parent, with both parents working, according to Massachusetts Institute of Technology, or MIT USA. The average hourly pay for a migrant worker in California is only about half of the living wage, at less than $15 an hour. FEP also organizes school supply donation drives regularly to thank the farm workers for growing and picking our fruits and vegetables. During the COVID-19 pandemic, sadly, farm workers are impacted by the coronavirus at a rate 3 times higher than the rest of the country due to cramped living quarters, crowded transportation, and lack of access to information and vaccination. To help ease their situation, FEP raised more than $10,000 to send the workers fresh produce, masks, and sanitizers, and delivered 655 backpacks of school supplies for their children. A major milestone in FEP's 14-year history in its successful campaign against a California regulation known as the 50-mile rule. For 5 decades, the migrant farm workers living in state-subsidized housing centers were required to relocate 50 miles away at the end of a harvest season. The 50-mile rule is a relic from a time when migrant workers were mostly single men. The regulation disrupted communities and forced thousands of children to live in the middle of their academic year, making it difficult for them to earn an education and break the cycle of poverty. By drafting online petitions, hosting protests, and seeking out audiences with state officials to repeal the regulation, FEP helped to bring about an end to the 50-mile rule in 2018.
I'm really proud of the fact that as a small organization, we were able to work in coalition with others to change that regulation to allow the children of farm workers to stay in the labor camps until the school year is over. So it's been a few years now, but finally the children are able to finish out their school year.
Wow, Ms. Lauren Ornelas, we are deeply touched by the depth of your compassionate and generous heart. May heaven forever bless you abundantly for all the work you have done for both the animals and vulnerable people of society. Supreme Master Ching Hai joyfully present the Shining World Compassion Award to Lauren Ornelas, plus $10,000 for the Food Empowerment Project as a humble token of support for your noble work empowering the underprivileged with all love, respect, and gratitude. May you enjoy ever more success and may heaven bless you abundantly always. Supreme Master Ching Hai is deeply grateful to the beloved God for all the financial help, comfort, and support to the afflicted and needy, and or any good cause over the years, as a humble vessel for His compassion and love toward His precious children. For more information about Food Empowerment Project, please visit foodispower.org. Upbeat viewers, thank you for your precious time for today's program. Please join us next week on Tuesday, October 26th for the concluding episode. Coming up next is The True Jihad, Part 4 of 14, on Between Master and Disciples. May you become fully aware that you are always connected to the divine. Vegan, cause we are deleting our planet otherwise.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/VEG.